There are different options of countershaft sprockets for the Honda XR650L. So let's take a close look at some of these options. Hi, I'm FritzCo from adventurebiketroop.com. Now I've ordered a whole set of FritzCo countershaft sprockets for the Honda XR650L, the full set 13, 14, 15 and 16 tooth, which we'll test in later videos. But for this video I just want to show you the difference between the standard XR650L sprocket, the Honda XR650R sprocket which I fitted in this video, and then the FritzCo sprocket. Now the problem with the XR650L, most of you know this, but when I bought the bike I didn't know this. There's a big risk of wearing the countershaft prematurely, especially since the bike doesn't have a push drive. People run the chain too tight, don't grease the splines properly, so if there's play it can wear quite quickly, and there is a bit of wear in mine after 12,000 kilometers. So let's take a look at the sprockets, what they look like, the difference between them. So the first one I'm going to show you is the standard one. I've removed the rubber here so we can measure it, the thickness. This one is the standard one, and the thing you want to look out for is the spline area there. That's about 8 or 8.5 millimeters. And if you compare that to the XR650R sprocket, you can see how much thicker it is, the spline area there in the middle. So that's about 13.5 millimeters. I had to remove about a millimeter on this side to make it fit, but now it actually contacts the full spline area with just enough to fit this retaining plate. And then here is the FritzCo, again quite thick there. I think this was about 11.5 millimeters. I measured all of them to make sure. So this is about 8 millimeters, about 12.5 after I've removed some of it, and then this about 11, a little bit more. The major difference between the FritzCo and the XR650R sprocket is the R is offset. So this is how it fits. It fits like this onto the spline of the R, and you have to invert it to fit it to the XR650L. So the chain is a bit misaligned, and you can see the wear. You can clearly see the wear on the one side, not on the other side. So the chain definitely will wear quicker on the inside, the engine side of the bike, because it fits this way onto the spline. And then the FritzCo, you can see it was cut in a way that it is centered. So it's exactly the same alignment as the stock sprocket, but there's a bigger contact area with the splines. And the nice thing about this is you can invert it before it wears too much, and then you can extend the life. Now I know there's other different types of sprockets as well. There's the primary drive. You can get it on Amazon. I don't have any experience with that. I know some of the sprockets is not the same quality. The FritzCo is very well known, and I've only heard good things. I am going to test it properly. But then there's also the KK bike. A lot of people on Facebook will also always mention that, from Italy. The problem with that is it's almost more than double the price of the FritzCo. You can only fit it one way, so you can't invert it to extend the life. It's expensive to ship it to where I live. So it seems like overkill. I know if the countershaft is already worn beyond repair, then you can fit that one, the KK bike, to extend or to get some more life before you have to rebuild the engine. But personally, my opinion is that if you look after it from the start, fit something like the FritzCo, and then just maintain the chain tension, lube it, make sure you don't, you shift gears properly, especially on tarmac where you can't spin the rear wheels to take up some of the force, then the FritzCo should be more than enough to keep your bike running and and to prevent damage on the countershaft. But please stay tuned for the next couple of videos where we're going to test the 4 different size FritzCo sprockets, the 13, 14, 15 and 16 tooth. I'm going to test what the gearing feels like, the fuel consumption difference, the acceleration with the accelerometer. So we're going to do a lot of tests. So if there's something specific you want to know on any of those 3 different size sprockets, please let me know in the comments below so I can include it in those videos. And thank you for watching. Give this video a like, and I'll see you next week.